Janet Marie here, and we're here at the Valentine Resort here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I'm here with Diamond.
Yes.
And you're pretty in your pink, Diamond.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
I love the color pink. It's my favorite color.
Awesome. My favorite color too. One of my favorite colors.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, I want to talk about, your product line here.
Okay.
And I want to talk about how it all came together.
Yes, ma'am.
How did your product
So I started formulating products out of necessity when I found out my husband was diagnosed with cancer. His skin became extremely dehydrated due to the chemotherapy and the radiation. And so I was in school to be a registered nurse at the time. And so me and my chemistry teacher, we started exploring different raw ingredients. And then that's when I started formulating shea butter and scrub. And my husband, within 1 week of using my shea butter, his skin cleared up tremendously.
Wow.
So we would go to the different chemotherapy appointments, and I would pass out samples to the other patients. And unfortunately, my husband did pass away to cancer, and so I stopped formulating products. And those patients and those nurses started calling me, stating that my product was truly impacting their skin.
Wow.
So that's when my dad painted a room in my house pink, and it was my pink lab, and that was my healing process with making products for those that were still alive.
That is beautiful, Diamond.
Thank you. And so fast forward, 15 years later, I left my corporate job, and now I do Diamond's Body Care full time.
That is so awesome. So tell me where where your product line is at now. What are you doing with it now?
So currently, I have a partnership with JW Marriott, where I formulate their products for their treatments for the spa, and I have a new partnership with the Valentine Hotel Spa.
Awesome.
Yes, and then the Ritz-Carlton. That's coming down the pipeline next.
Congratulations to you.
Thank you.
So Diamond, tell me, how can people get your product line?
So my products, I have a storefront in Bessemer City.
Okay.
So it's downtown Bessemer City at 115 West Pennsylvania Avenue. And then also online at diamondsbodycare.com.
Awesome. So tell me about your product.
Sure. So we have 4 different fragrances. This one here is our almond honey. If you want to smell it just to...
Wow. So nice. Very light.
Thank you.
It's very light.
Thank you.
Clean. Very clean.
Yes. And this one is our Island Breeze. So that's our Caribbean scent. And then we also have a white tea and ginger, which is like a very spa. It has a little bit of bamboo in it.
It does smell like spa, like the spa. When you walk into a spa,
yes.
This is what you smell.
Yes.
Very nice.
And then last but not least, our pink hibiscus.
You had to do something pink, right?
Yes.
There you are. Nice.
Thank
Very
you.
Nice. Very nice.
And then we have our botanical body oils.
Wow, nice.
And it's an actual botanical flower on the inside.
That is beautiful.
Thank you.
Pink again. Really
yes,
pretty.
pink again.
I feel like Oprah, but I'm not getting out of the car. Yes, must be present.
Right there. 454.
Ticket number 467.
Oh, right here.
Okay, I gotta get out of the way. Come on up and meet Vanna Black. 458. All right. No, it's not. That's you! Yeah! 455. Oh, that's me! See, the Lord is a gift that keep on giving. Yeah! 3 more deals. 441. Ticket number 463. I have a gift for you. All right. Thank you.
Oh, so you live here in Charlotte?
I do. I'm Janet.
Janet, I'm Tammy.
Tammy.
And I'm from Salisbury. So
Oh, you are? Okay, nice to meet you.
I was curating my own music festival. My lineup of 5 artists would be blank. Now, 2 minutes.
Frankie Beverly and Mays, Jill Scott, and the 5th one would be, and it's crazy, it would be the Temptations.
I love that. My husband would love that one too, your last one. I'm going to start with the Temptations. Okay, because you said that. He would love that. I'm going to say New Edition. I love New Edition. Janet Jackson. I love Janet Jackson. Frankie Beverly and Mays.
Think about Frankie Beverly and Mays. So my husband's nephew, our nephew, he probably cabin napper. He plays drums for
Oh,
Frankie.
okay, nice. Just imagine our lineup being our reality.
I know,
Wouldn't
right?
that be? That would be something, wouldn't it? Girl, everybody would have a great time, wouldn't they?
Kindness of my heart, because if there's information that I can provide, then you're supposed to share.
Right.
And so I do, and I was blessed to have a lot of knowledge. And with a lot of knowledge, I read a lot, I research a lot. My trade is I'm a data scientist, so
Yes, I became an ADHD and a life coach. Yes.
I remember that.
Yep. So right now, I created a curriculum, an ADHD curriculum, because I feel like we all need it. So I'm working on that right now, and Dawn is helping me with that. I'm so excited about that, and I'm now an author, so I'm looking to, become more of a speaker with that as well, and talking about ADHD and the traits as well.
We gotta take a shoe picture.
I know.
Need to remember these shoes. They are beautiful.
Oh wow! Thank you. Both of our shoes here.
Hers are just amazing, though. Her shoes are just fire. My name's Pat.
Hi Pat. I'm Janet.
Hi, Janet.
Nice to meet you.
So it was how his self-love for you evolved.
Yes.
So tell me about that.
Self-love for me started when I was 28 and a half.
Okay, you know
And
exactly.
I know exactly, and I wrote a book about it.
Okay,
The 5A Formula to Reclaim Your Life. That started with me really having a breakdown. Once I acknowledged those things, especially that one thing that was really in the pit of me, I looked myself in the mirror, which is what that soft voice did with the first thing. And I began to face myself and ask myself, why was I feeling that way? And once I did that, it opened me up. I was honest with myself, about who I was being in every aspect of my life. All those years when people say, oh, you love yourself? Yeah, I love myself. But I didn't truly love myself.
Really?
I did not know how.
So I have so many questions for Janet. So whatever that was, that catalyst, it happened. You dealt with it. So you're beyond it or not. So it never happened again like that, or because you kept implementing the
I
truth?
kept implementing the truth, and I still do. And then for me, it's more being ashamed and embarrassed of feeling that way. The first time I faced myself with a lot of tears. And then a soft voice came over me and said, okay, you cried enough. Now it's time that you talk about it. You get to the root of it. And you ask yourself, why are you feeling this way, Janet? Why are you feeling this way? And I did. And I had for inviting me here. And I mean, just meeting all of you ladies, I haven't met everyone individually, but this space is a safe space. It truly is. It feels really good. Self-love for me started when I was 28 and a half years old. And I actually wrote a book about it. So it started for me because for so many years, I actually realized that I didn't truly love myself. And it was one day where I just felt like the walls had caved in on me. And I had a complete breakdown. But my breakdown led me to my breakthrough. But then that soft-spoken voice actually told me to get off my knees, look myself in the mirror, and say it out loud, what that one thing was. I never felt like I was a good mother to my son. I never felt like I was. I was a young single mom. I was a teenage mom. When I had him, I was 16 years old. And I actually had my son on the day that my mother and father divorced. I never realized how much that hurt me. And I carried that throughout my life. However, in that moment, that voice led me and said, okay, now Janet, now you've acknowledged it. You know what it is. You faced it. Now you got to do the work and write down everything that made me feel uneasy in my life, that made me feel hurt and pain. And I began to write everything. And that voice said, why are you feeling this way? When I admit it, when I acknowledge it out loud, I feel so much better. I feel like the brick walls just open up and I can do anything. And you can. Actually, I'm working on a project now, and it's about child care and early parenthood child care and what's going on in child care with education. And I realized that because compared to any other race, post-traumatic stress for Black women are extremely high. And Pat and I just had a conversation, and we talked about how many challenges we have outside of our homes, outside of our communities, in corporate America, in education, whatever it is that we do when we step outside of our community. But when we step back inside of our community, we have challenges with one another. As women, we have challenges with Black women. Challenges because we fight one another so much, and we should not. We're sisters. I can remember when I was a little girl, I used to take trips to New York every year. And the one thing that I used to hear people up north say, hey, my sister, hello, my sister. And I love that. I love that connection. And as we get older, I don't hear that anymore. You don't hear Black men saying, hey, brother, hey, my brother. Whenever I hear that, I feel like it feels good. And we need to get back to that. We need to embrace one another. We need to help one another. If I call you up and you can help me, help me. Let's help one another. That's what we're here for. We say we won't change. We have to change. It starts with you. It starts with us. We all have to change. Don, thank you for this platform.
Because this is a beautiful segue into our last question. No, I won't ask you guys to find a new group.
She's funny.
But the final question will be, in 2024, that's why this is so important. I want you to ask yourselves amongst your group, I hope to support other Black women more by whatever you think. So in 2024, how do you plan to support Black women more?
What I see most for us as women loving each other more, so showing, my motto is, you never know what an individual is going through. But as women, we all know what we endure and have to carry a lot of times, and we just don't acknowledge it with each other.
Right.
So what I've started to do is any opportunity that I get is to uplift a woman. Anytime I see your hair is beautiful, I mean your natural hair is beautiful. I try hard to speak my truth, and when I'm in situations like that now, I'll say, hold up, is this something you've already said to this person, individually? And it helps me not be pulled in as well, and just kind of help each other heal, help us heal. So those are some of the steps that I've taken with my sisters, and having girl trips and just embracing each other and not being so judgmental.
Yeah, that's so awesome. So, real quick, I told you both about my nonprofit for younger women, age college, junior, senior in college, up to 30.
Okay.
Something like early 30s, because we invest in corporate America. I'm an HR professional, diversity practitioner for some 30 years. So we invest in our mid-management and upper echelon, right? But companies don't invest. And these days of remote working, but what they are very gifted and smart and intelligent, and they come in as neurosurgeon, civil engineer, technology gurus. But they're still set aside and really not valued, and their voices aren't heard unless somebody takes an interest. And that's few and far in between in this culture. So that's what the Legacy League is all about. It's applying those principles that you got at 28. That you got when you got them, and I got them when I got them. But if somebody had just given that to me, and Dawn talks about that, and so I want to continue that. And my vision is to have chapters all around the country. I also do a podcast called The Sister Covenant, and this weekend has fueled me because I started that November 1st. So literally Wednesday was our 3-year anniversary.
Oh, nice.
And I started it because we were in the middle of a pandemic that no one understood. We were in the middle of a political cycle that was just crazy, and I was afraid. And we were in the middle of social unrest with, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Ahmaud Arbery, and so the Sister Covenant was born this weekend, talking to you all, and we need those crucial conversations, but we need to bring love, lift, and light to them. So we got all of these issues. I don't want to focus on the issue. I want to focus on the light and the love and the lift for us. So that's what I want to do more than 2024.
That's 2024 for me. I want to be able to connect with people because through me learning how to love myself and that breakdown that I had, I realized that the reason why I wasn't the mother that I needed to be for my son was because I didn't understand his diagnosis of ADHD. And so I want to be able to help as many people understand ADHD and realize that ADHD really affects all of us in some sort of way, because ADHD is a trait as well. So I want to make ADHD a friendly environment for people to understand.
Our kids are struggling and maybe not having their needs met. So when Janet introduced to me her project and she asked me to read her curriculum, was just telling me how much people are saying it's needed, but sometimes because we're not in the decision-making roles, we're not on school boards as much, we're not in city council and county council, and so we have something that's true and genuine that could help our kids. It's hard to get it to them because we're not in those spaces. And we're going to figure that out. And that's what connection is about, because I believe so much in, when my daughter was 2 years, she was in 2nd grade, a teacher helped me understand. She said, your daughter is a sensory learner. And if she's not paying attention in class, it's not because she don't want to, or she's not trying to be a good student. It's because if the teacher hasn't connected with her emotionally and that subject matter doesn't speak to her, she's just not going to have interest. She's going to be looking out the window saying, oh, look at the red bird. So she said, you're going to have to pay attention to those signs, because the teachers are going to misdiagnose her as ADHD if she's not ADHD. So it was because someone helped me understand that I knew how to supplement my child's education so that she could prosper and not automatically assume I'm stupid or I'm dumb or I can't, and because they internalize what they can't do that maybe other students are able to do. So if you don't have, I was blessed to have a very attentive teacher that was willing to talk to me about that, but that's not what's going on in the norm. So her curriculum, and I think it helps us as adults even understand how we think, how we operate, how we behave. So I just want her to share with you a little bit about kind of like a personality test that's developed by a Black woman. Because we all take personality tests, right? Our institutions tell us to do these things, our corporations tell us to do these things, and we learn that these tests don't necessarily focus on who we are and have that cultural piece to it. And she has focused on that piece. So I just want her to tell us a little bit about that curriculum and how we may be able to engage and figure out how to support her.
Thank you, Dawn. Hello, everyone, again. Okay, Dawn, thank you so much for talking about my curriculum. I actually created this curriculum. As you all know, I told my story, shared my story with you about, I didn't feel like I was a good mom But I didn't feel like I was a good mom because my son was diagnosed with ADHD when he was 8 years old. And my son is 38 years old now, and I was a young mom. I'm 54. So I was in my 20s, so definitely I didn't understand ADHD. And during those years, I don't think many people understood ADHD and what it was. We had many challenges, but to say actually we suffered. We really suffered. We suffered in his early childhood life. We suffered in his teenage years. My son suffered when he became an adult. My son suffered to the point where he was in and out of jail. It was really hard. I spent so much money on helping my son. I did not know how to help him. Even when he became an adult, I didn't know how to help him. My son suffered with sleep apnea because of ADHD. In fact, when he was an infant baby, he never went to sleep. My son would not go to sleep every morning until between 4 and 5 o'clock every single morning. And I was a teenage mom up rocking my baby. I had a rocking chair, rocking my baby every night. And I was a 16-year-old teenager rocking him to sleep. Fast forward, and when he was in school, he just couldn't stay focused in school. It was a constant battle. And he went to summer school every year. And every year he was the #1 student in summer school. He was extremely smart, but no one knew how to help him. They didn't have the proper tools or education of understanding of how to help him. So for so many years, we just suffered. I decided that we would no longer suffer. And I decided that I was going to find out, I was going to dig deep into finding out about everything that I could possibly find out about ADHD. And I did. I became educated, I became certified, and I learned about ADHD. And what I learned was ADHD is not what we believe that it is. But ADHD can be very magnificent. Bill Gates has ADHD. Michael Jordan has ADHD. Simone Miles has ADHD. Paris Hilton has ADHD. The list goes on and on and on. What I've learned from my studies is that when you're able to tap into the one thing that you're so great at, it helps you with other challenges in your life. And what that does is it boosts your confidence. It makes you feel good. But another thing that I've learned through my studies is that the majority of us here, and probably all of us here, has the ADHD trait. Because how many of you procrastinate? How many of you have problems with organization skills? The list goes on and on and on. Those are your ADHD traits. And when I talked about being ashamed and embarrassed of things, those are some of the things I had to look in the mirror about. Now, when I take an ADHD assessment test, it states that I don't have ADHD. Because of my studies and learning, I can recognize my traits. I know when they show up. But let me share something with you about my son. My son changed his life, but he changed because I changed. Because he saw me do the work. When he saw me do the work, he said to me, "Ma, you doing that because of me?" I said, "Yes." That is a way of protecting your children. Even when they're adults, they still look for that protection from you. They still look for us to nurture them. We're women. It's just automatic. We nurture. It's within us. That lifted him. That gave him confidence. Now he's become an entrepreneur. He has his own business. I heard him talking to one of his clients one day. And he said, "Man," he said, "you're going to have to repeat that to me probably 100 times because you know I got ADHD." Now my son goes to bed on time, the same time, every single night. Because now he understands his ADHD. He didn't want to acknowledge it because there's a stigma attached to it. We don't want nothing else attached to us. So we run from it. But if you run from it, you can't help yourself, you can't help your children, you can't help your community. We're going to continue to have struggles until we change. So because of everything that we've gone through is why I created the curriculum. Today I've created also, I have a who are you, and it starts there, taking a gentle deep dive into who you truly are. But in order to do that, you have to be completely honest with yourself about yourself. You would be amazed of why you feel uneasy, why you're having anxiety, why you're having these panic attacks, why you have these depression, why when one moment it feels like everything is going good, and then the next moment you hit a brick wall and you feel stuck again, and you take another step and you're stuck again, and you take another step and you're stuck again. It's because of those uneasy feelings. So I invite you to the Who Are You curriculum. Go to www.alljanetmarie.com. You can ALL Janet, my name, Janet, Marie, Marie.com. Thanks so much, Dawn.
Now y'all know why I feel so blessed. Like my whole life, I've been blessed, and I'm gonna call it Pat Sands real quick, with just phenomenal women in my life forever.